watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Well, did you feel it? A 3.2 magnitude earthquake shook parts of San Diego County. Thanks for joining us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Chris Groh. It happened around 2:07 a.m. in Warner Springs. People reported feeling it in Carmel Valley, Ramona, and Escondido.
I slept right through that thing.
Same.
Exhausted.
I was put to sleep by the Padres, so let's check in with meteorologist Evan Ronnie here. Didn't have to take the melatonin last night.
No, wasn't the game we're looking for. That's
just not a lot of offense there, was there?
Eric walked in and was like, our resident Swiftie, you listened to the whole album, and I was like, no, I watched the game and I went to bed.
Emotionally, you were too exhausted by the Padres.
And I knew that album would only exhaust me more.
If it was like Folklore or Evermore and maybe had some like breakup vibes to it or something, but this was supposed to be pop.
I couldn't get into that spirit. It is going to be a very fall-like weekend. Temperature sliding here across San Diego County. Take a look at the forecast for today. Widespread 70s from the coast to our inland valleys. It was just 10 days ago we were in the 90s. Now, no longer. Those are gone. 80s are even gone inland. And mountains are going for the 60s today. We are watching as we transition from high pressure to low pressure. That's going to trigger some wind for our mountains and deserts. Out the door right now, mostly 50s. Got some 60s out by the coastline. Then as pause has a check of how traffic is shaping up as we start off our, at least it's Friday, right?
Yeah, at least it's Friday, guys. 6:01 is the time. Let's go ahead and start things off with a live look outside. Not much to talk about. It's pretty quiet on the freeways, just how we like it on a Friday to get the end of the work week going. This is what it looks like on the 5 in both directions right at Genesee, and this is your drive as you come inbound from the college area or La Mesa, Grossmont, making your way towards Mission Valley. Speaking of La Mesa, that's where the Oktoberfest is happening this weekend. As we go ahead and zoom on into the South Bay, we're at full freeway speeds, anywhere between 65, 70 miles per hour. So same deal in from Santee and La Mesa, and you're looking all on the green at last check in from the North County. In about 7-8 minutes or so, we'll take a look at what your Friday travel times have in store. Back to you guys.
Look at this giant ball of fire here. Right now, crews still at the scene of this oil refinery fire in El Segundo. It started last night, and crews have contained it to one section of the refinery. An evacuation order is not in place. No injuries have been reported, but several roads around the Chevron oil refinery remain closed this morning. LAX officials say the fire has not impacted flight operations. No word on the cause of the fire.
In about an hour, Sean Diddy Combs is expected to be sentenced. 3 months ago, a jury found the entertainment mogul guilty on 2 prostitution-related charges. He was acquitted on the major charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, avoiding the possibility of life in prison. He could still face a maximum of 20 years. Ahead of the hearing, Combs sent a letter to the judge apologizing for his, quote, past wrongs and asking for mercy. Today, the Senate will take up competing GOP and Democrat spending bills to try to reopen the government.
Yeah, if votes fail again today, the shutdown is likely to last through the weekend, and that's because the Senate Majority Leader says he won't keep lawmakers in session, giving them time to go home and think it over and return on Monday. Meanwhile, the White House says President Donald Trump plans to fire thousands of federal workers during the shutdown. 2 officials say that could start today or this weekend.
Now, if your weekend plans included a trip to San Diego's Cabrillo National Monument, you will be met by locked gates.
Yeah, the government shutdown has forced the closure of this beautiful park we have here. CBS 8's Regina Yarita joining us live from Cabrillo. Visitors turned away there by that gate.
Yeah, definitely. And today is the same thing. We are noticing that sign that says closed. And of course, showing you that you need to turn around, you can't go beyond that point. Now, normally the hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the park will remain closed even during those hours. The ongoing government shutdown is impacting national parks across the country, including here. So take a listen to what experts are saying.
January, the Park Service has lost over a quarter of its staff. And now during the shutdown, the remaining staff, 2/3 of them have been furloughed.
Yesterday, residents were surprised to find the park closed, but as you heard Mark Rose with the National Parks Conservation Association telling us many larger parks like Yosemite, they remain open, but smaller ones such as Cabrillo here have shut down. The closures also mean thousands of employees are not being paid. At Cabrillo, just one Park Service employee was on duty yesterday, turning visitors away. It's disappointing for some visitors. The MPCA and other park advocates, they're urging the Trump administration to close all national parks during the shutdown. So back out here, it's unclear how long the shutdown will last. One thing that Rose did point out is that during the last shutdown in 2018-2019, they started to notice certain issues like trash buildup, vandalism, and some destruction. They're hoping that that is not the case this time around. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thanks. Well, the San Diego Padres officially out of the playoffs this morning. They lost 3-1 against the Chicago Cubs yesterday after the Cubs picked up 2 runs early. Michael Busch had that big hit with a solo home run off Robert Suarez in the bottom of the 7th. The Padres got a home run from Jackson Merrill. He looked pretty good this season. The 22-year-old later had that run on the base there. Freddie Fermin flew out to center to end the game. We had runners on. The tying run was actually on base there. Jake Arriani is going to have more from Chicago later on this hour with a pretty fired up Manny Machado. If you haven't seen that interaction, it's worth a look.
Yeah, definitely been the talk of social media so far.
Yeah, we are putting what happened yesterday behind us.
Yeah,
we're headed into a beautiful weekend in San Diego. We've got very comfortable temperatures and conditions out there over the course of it. I mean, starting off with where we are right now, you got 50s and 60s for the most part. Very mild start to the morning out there and an opportunity to open up the windows. Julian, 48 degrees. You're getting chilly out there, but at least in Carlsbad, Encinitas, Del Mar, we are in the low 60s. So what we're going to watch for is the transition from higher pressure to lower pressure. When we see those tight pressure gradients, so pretty dramatic swings in pressure, that is what triggers wind. Wind is going to pick up over our local mountains and deserts. They are the 2 microclimates most prone to that uptick in wind, but what I will say is that countywide we'll feel that breeze pick up this afternoon. It's just going to be most intense and allowing for that wind advisory over the deserts into Imperial County. It's issued from 4 p.m. today through 5 a.m. tomorrow, but really this afternoon we'll start to see those winds pick up as early as 1, 2 p.m. 30 to 45 miles per hour on your sustained speeds, gusts up to 65 miles per hour at times. When we look at the overall big picture of right now, we've got cloud cover building in around LA, Orange County, drifting down to San Diego County. We do have some cloud cover. It's just not much to contend with. So zooming in a little closer, you can see how North County was facing a little bit of gray earlier this morning. Right now, it looks like some of those clouds over the ocean are drifting down towards Silver Strand and downtown San Diego, all the way down to the international border. As far as the 5-day forecast goes, now that we are transitioning to lower pressure, we'll enjoy a stretch of much more fall-like weather. Cooler temperatures, cloudier skies out there, widespread 70s along the coast and inland. This is your 5-day inland forecast. Looks a lot more like what our 5-day coastal forecasts look like earlier on in at least September. 78 is as warm as we're going to get in the next 5 days, and then overnight lows are going to be down to mainly the mid-50s out there. Vanessa Paz has a check of traffic as we start off our morning. Hi, Vanessa.
Good morning, guys, and happy Friday to you. As we take a look outside, I wanted to pull up this cool shot. It shows the clouds that are hanging overhead, but the hints of sunshine in the distance. And this is a shot facing south from Oceanside Boulevard. We're also looking at pretty nice drives in the North County. Same deal as you make your way through downtown San Diego. This is also a cool shot of downtown. The skyline there as the 5 runs through it, and that's the drive as you make your way northbound, let's say in from the South Bay headed towards Hawthorne. All right, we are at full freeway speeds for the most part, anywhere between 65 to close to 70 miles per hour or so, headed northbound in from Chula Vista National City. I'm not tracking any major delays nor crashes. At the same time, yesterday was a completely different story. There were tons of crashes, tons of yellow. Not the case this time around. We're averaging anywhere between 65, 70 mile per hour speeds. As we take a look at your travel times, we're averaging anywhere between 10 to 15 to get you northbound in from San Isidro to the 94 near the City Heights area. And then if you're coming in from the 5 north from the 54 towards Point Loma, the Old Town area, about 10 minutes for you. span of the Coronado Bridge, about 5 minutes or less. Anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52 westbound. And finally, here to look at those travel times in from the North County, Encinitas, and also Escondido, about 15 minutes for you, under 30, and from Encinitas to the top of the Golden Triangle. All right, 6:09 is the time. Let's go ahead and take a look at those border wait times. We're averaging over an hour, about an hour 20, an hour 40 or so coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry, and about 45 in from Otay Mesa at last check.